Nigerian Nightmare back in the program. Kamaru Usman. We have him on here as often as we can. We were supposed to do an interview about a half hour ago. He said, "Yeah, I'll call you right back. I'm in my car." It's been a half hour. What? You're still in your car? What the hell are you doing?
I'm still in my car, man. I'm in my car and I just got so many things going on at once. I'm like, why am I in my car? What I'm supposed to be doing something, And then I'm like, okay, it'll come to me, I'm playing with my phone and I'm checking my email or I'm sending a text back, and I'm like, what am I still doing in
Hold
here?
on. You're at home in your driveway,
Yeah,
still in your car for the last half an hour.
yeah,
Been in your car, just sitting there.
yeah.
Isn't it hot in Florida?
No, actually today it's raining,
Oh,
and that's the one thing that I do love about Florida is that it gets hot, but it always rains. Maybe an hour each day or half an hour here and there, but it
yeah.
rains, which just cools everything down. And which I mean, obviously, why we don't have fires, forest fires, and all that. Like it cools it all down, and then the sun comes back up and dries it all up.
That's just nuts. I can't. I could never sit in my car for half an hour. Like I gotta get out of here. I can't
Really?
do it.
You know what? I love it. I have a daughter who's 3. She's super smart. Her imagination is ridiculous, and
Yeah.
so um, she's always talking, and just always like she just makes up things that you can't believe for a 3-year-old. And I'm like, what? How do you even know that? And she'll just come up with these stories. And now the thing with my daughters, I don't listen to any type of music that that's gonna mess with that imagination. Like she's so smart, and I don't want her that to be polluted by just some of the crap that we have to deal with. Like I know better. She
Yeah.
doesn't know better. She's still a growing mind, and so I try to shelter her from all that. When I get in my car, I don't listen to any of that type of music. It's either old school love songs to where she really have no
Yeah.
idea, or something that she wants to from one of her animated movies. But so I'm with her all day. We're with her all day. So when I get in my car, this is my time to be by myself. This is my sanctuary. So when I drive to the gym, I put on whatever I want to put on, whether it's old school Diddy, Biggie, whatever, with the curse words, and I just blast it on the way to training. So this is my time. So I love being in the car.
That's awesome. That is funny. Yeah, I don't have that. I can kind of do whatever. My kids are a little bit older, so I can kind of do whatever I want.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
came for those days.
So how's training going? I actually talked to Taiwan today,
Yeah.
just a little bit ago. 7-year-old amateur with your camp. He just got signed with Bellator, and on my radar immediately hasn't been fought yet. And I forget he was named the guys he trains with every day, and it's like, yeah, there's a split for you guys, but it doesn't really seem like either camp, either side really got that messed up from the split. Yeah, you lost a couple of your friends. Yeah, you lost a couple of training partners, but nothing really that was going to be impactful to how the fight's going to come out. So I kind of hesitate to ask, like, how is training camp? It doesn't seem like training camps have changed that much for you guys.
No, for me, absolutely not at all. Nothing has changed for me. The biggest thing that you mentioned with that split, and it goes to the old battle, to the reason we even did the whole show, the AT&T. Like it's always it's above us.
Yeah,
Like those are all things that's out of our power, out of our control. Even the whole so-called ATT Black Zillion beef back in the day, like that's
yeah,
above. That has nothing to do with us, the athletes. So we still, with this split, we still, yeah, that nothing has changed for me. Like I've always, Henry Hooft has always been my striking coach. I came up in the sport. Like my first day of striking, stand-up striking, was with Henry, and so I still work with Henry. My jiu-jitsu coach has always been George Santiago. I still work with George Santiago. And now I'm a wrestler, so
yeah.
that wasn't the biggest area to where I needed the most help. But now we have Greg Jones, probably one of the winningest collegiate wrestlers ever,
Yeah.
and we work very well together. I understand him, he understands my style, he understands how I work and how much I put into this, and so nothing has changed for me. I've been this way. In my last 2 3 fights, two fights was when the split kind of started happening. But,
Yeah.
Nothing's changed for me. I'm still the same.
So you've been on an incredible win streak. I mean, you're just running through guys, and now you got who you got coming up now? Sergio Moraes, right? Moraes. So, do you feel like that he's? We talked about it. Do you feel like he's a good? Do you feel like he's a good matchup for you? And do you feel like he's going to advance you within the ranking of the weight class? Do you feel like it's kind of a sideways move, and it's just going to stall you a little bit?
At the end of the day, I mean, if you look at it in those terms, yes, it's a lateral move because, like as much as it doesn't matter, rankings mean absolutely nothing. But at the end of the day, it does mean something. Like they want the guy who has a number one next to his name or number two to fight the champion. And so to casual fans, that means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But to us fighters, at the end of the day, we're fighters and we go in there and we get a check. That check is still going to be the same. I'm still going to get that check. So for that purpose, yes, it makes a difference. Like I wanted a guy who potentially could test me. I don't think there's any guy that could test me in the division right now. I know how I train. I know how I work. I know a lot of guys say things, and especially in this day and age that we live in, people are they're talking themselves into fight. It's an entertainment,
Yeah.
and to where, yeah, you're right. This is more of a lateral move, but at the end of the day, I got to make money and I got to feed my daughter and I got to feed my family. So I'm not going to say no if this is what they offer me. I've put it out there. I've asked for who I wanted it, who I believe was above me, who can test me and who can push me forward in the rankings. But if I'm not getting that, then I'm not getting that. There's absolutely nothing I can do. It's not that I didn't ask for it. I did ask for it.
So this fight is September 16th in Pittsburgh. You can legitimately turn around and fight again before the end of the year. You can have a fight in December sometime. Do you plan on trying to get another fight in, or you want to take the rest of the year off?
That is absolutely I would love to get 2 fights in if I can. That is absolutely the plan, is to turn around and fight again as soon as possible. God willing. First off, like in my last fight, in every last one of my fights, the damages was done in camp. I train rigorously in camp to make sure when I step out there, it's almost a flawless victory. And you've seen that in my my fights in the octagon. I mean, it was I think my last interview I did with Brian Stanton, he told me the stats of, my strike compared to my opponent's strikes, and it was a crazy number. That's what I train for. I train to go out there and not take any damage. I took no damage in my last fight. I wanted to turn around and fight again, but hey, if people aren't going to step up and take those fights, then you will get things like this, to where I'm making a lateral move and fighting, a guy like this, who I respect him. Like, he's a dangerous guy. Damian Maya credentials when it comes to jiu-jitsu, but this is mixed martial arts, and I don't believe there's anybody in the division that can mix it up as well as I do.
So, lateral move, but you've also got 4 decisions in a row in the UFC. You came out strong and heavy, got a submission right off the bat, and then it's kind of been decision, dominant decisions, dominant. There's no doubt about it. You are dominating on your decisions, but it seems like the UFC only listens to people that are getting finishes. They only listen to people if you are exciting the crowd. If you keep finishing guys, they tend to give you more, not only more fun, more money wise, more press time, more air time. They give you a little bit more of a push, but they also, when you call out other fighters, they tend to listen to you more. Do you feel like you're because of the decisions, you're not getting that step up that you want because of the decisions?
And that's a good point. It could be because of that. I mean, I'm not them. They've not came out and said that directly to me, but it could be. When I go out and train, at the end of the day, I've mentioned this. I don't do this because this is all I can do. This is the only thing for me. I chose to do this. I chose to compete. I chose to do this because this is a competition, and I want to be the best at this competition. And so when I go out there, I'm going to compete. And, unfortunately, those finishes haven't came, especially when you're fighting guys who you have just broke physically, mentally, and now they're just trying to survive. Finishes will happen when guys are actually willing to engage with you. If I wanted to go out there and run around the whole time and not let a guy, once after I break a guy after the first round, they tend to go into this mode to where they just want to survive. And
Yeah.
so, it's hard to get a finish when guys won't even engage with you, but that could be a reason why they're not giving me those fights. But it's not that I haven't asked for it. I've asked for it, but I go in there and I systematically break the guys physically, mentally, to where they do go into a defensive shell and they don't want to fight anymore. And so hopefully this guy will stand there and actually try to fight.
He has that reputation of no matter how bad the chips are down, he tends to stand there and fight. He will throw big bombs. He will try to get in your face if he gets stung. But he also, too, once he gets hurt and he realizes I'm getting stepped over in the stand-up game, I'm going to shoot. I'm going to try and get it to the ground because that's where he's most comfortable. Have you had a lot of time? I mean, it's automatic for you how to keep guys off you. Like you're really good at not getting taken down. But eventually, it's going to happen. Someone's going to take you down because it's a fight. Things happen. You're off balance. You're in the middle of a punch, slip and fall. It just happens that way. In your normal training, you spend a lot of time getting up right away when you get taken down.
Yeah. I mean, that's also another wonderful question. It's as wrestlers, we tend to not ever think we're ever going to be taken down or we're ever going to be in that situation. But I tried to think above that. I try to not put myself in that box. I always try to, and that's the biggest thing. The more I've improved in the sport of mixed martial arts, the more I've been okay with putting myself in uncomfortable and unfamiliar territory, sort of like being taken down, being on my back, actually staying on my back and trying to work off my back, as opposed to just taking a guy down, being on top and dominating 100%, which is something that I love to do. And so, I have spent some time in those areas, and also credit to our coach, wrestling coach Greg Jones. That's a big thing for him is reaction. Once you do hit the ground, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
How do you move? How do you get up? And so, yeah, we definitely have really worked those positions.
Kurt, thanks for coming on here, man. I know I've kept you on here a little bit long. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. This fight for me is a good fight. I do believe it's lateral. I don't think it's a step up in competition. But I also think he's a guy that's going to engage. I think you're finally going to get another finish because I think he will engage the entire time. Even after you sting him, even after he tries to take you down and he can't do it, he will step in front of you and try to make it a fight, which gives you an opportunity to be able to finish him. And that really is what I'm looking for you.
Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to still step inside the octagon and do what I do. But it's like we talked about it. Yeah, I have asked for those fights, and unfortunately, I haven't been getting them. And it's hopefully the UFC realizes that I'm trying to get it done. I'm going in there. I'm stepping in there. I'm putting all the pieces together. I'm not just going out there in a bar fight and swinging. I'm actually putting pieces together and systematically trying to show that I am the best mixed martial artist in the world, and I have no holes in the game. And so, hopefully he will stand there and try to battle with me, and that finish will eventually come.
Kamaru, thanks so much for coming on here, man. Have a great rest of your training camp. Kiss your daughter for me. We'll talk soon.